So I had a student ask me on our one of our last ACH training about secondary gain. Now, there's a lot of these ideas about secondary gain. Clients have this, this problem because of this. All problems exist because of here. Maybe it's a client's identity. All of these types of ideas, I think they're great. I think they're good ideas to put up on your blackboard and use as a reference. But one of the easiest things to get caught up in is all of these different references, all these different frames, all these different ideas and conclusions. If you follow 5 or 6 mentors, you might have 100 different theories that you're supposed to follow in order to get a breakthrough. And secondary gain's a big one. Okay, it gets talked about a lot. And I find that, and I used to think about it as well, that secondary gain now becomes an excuse for the breakthrough not happening, for the breakthrough not doing what it's supposed to do. So how do you get around this? All of these ideas, especially secondary gain. One thing I did, because I got so totally confused about all these ideas and theories, I stopped believing in all of it. I don't believe in secondary gain. I don't believe in the client has to have an audio. I don't believe a client has to go through repetition. I don't believe a client has to float above a timeline. I don't believe a client has to have a regression. All I know is something's going to happen in the session. If I can't start coming in with these conclusions, what am I going to do? I'm going to steer the session to the way I want it to go. And 10 times out of 10, now I'm guessing, a client's guessing it's going to go nowhere. Then if it goes nowhere, at least I can, say it's secondary gain and that's why it didn't work. Now it's just full of excuses. So I don't believe in any of those things. And what this really allowed me to do, guys, is be more with my client, be more present. I became a better listener. I became a better communicator because I wasn't in my head filtering their answers and what was happening in the context of the session through, is it secondary gain? Is it this? Does it need to be repetition? Need to be timeline? Because now I'm in my head and I'm not paying attention to my client. So does secondary gain exist? Who knows? It cannot be proven. And for me, especially as a business owner, I like facts. I don't believe in anything unless there's proven facts. Because if I believe in everything, because it gives me a good emotion or it looks good on paper, 9 times out of 10, I'm now following the tail of something that never existed because somebody else is trying to sell me their idea and their program, back to that shiny object thing we talked about before. So secondary gain, does it exist? I don't know. And until I see clear evidence over and over, I'm not going to believe in it. Now, this really helped, like I said, it gives me a lot of freedom to talk about this in videos before. It's probably the best politically way to say it, but I like going into a session being a dumb and lazy therapist. I don't know what I'm going to do until I do it. Because if I sit there for an hour before the session worrying about what I'm going to do, I'm putting pressure on myself. I'm going to freak myself out. I'm going to psych myself out. It's not going to do any good for me. Secondary gain, I'm not going to believe in that. I'm not going to believe in this, this, and this, because now I'm making my own assumptions, and these assumptions can't be proven. Just because a mentor says it doesn't mean it is true. And trust me this, guys, if you're getting yourself caught in your head, you're over-analyzing things, you're anxious for a session, you're scared, is because you're filtering through your experience through all of these what ifs. It has to be this way. It has to be secondary gain. You've got to live in audio. Test all these things out for yourself, and you'll be quite surprised that 99% of the stuff you test is just conclusions that somebody else has told you and doesn't really exist. And allows you to get into the session open-minded, calm, in a good present place for your clients, because you're not believing in a lot of this theory that everybody else is, because it's this theory that gets therapists caught in a corner not knowing what to do. All right. Hopefully that helps, guys.